All right, we should be live, and of course the camera starts freaking out. Why? Give me 1 second. All right, I think this camera actually might be dying on me. It's pretty choppy in terms of the footage, and it's cutting in and out. What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing? Actually, is it because of the bit rate? Oh no. Oh geez, are we gonna have camera problems all night? What is going on here? Mike 1360 with the 20 gifted subs. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Mike, one of the super gifters. All right, give me 1 second. Something's going on with my stream. I don't know if it's because I changed. No, my bitrate is normal. Yeah, if it cuts out, I apologize, guys. I might actually have to replace this camera because it's been freezing and turning on and off intermittently, so. You snagged one from, yep, see, it did it again. Why is it doing this? I might have to switch cameras actually live on stream. We might have to do this live. Oh my goodness. Okay guys, give me 1 second. This is pretty annoying. Now I need to find my other cam, which I used for the, oh, here we go. We're about to go back to the straight up Logitech C920 because this is the, oh, never mind. I found the Elgato face cam. Never mind. Give me 1 second. Do I have a live producer? Yeah, right. If only. All right, let me get the Elgato webcam set up real quick. Oh. How long? I need to go back to, or look back at when I bought this camera from Chris. How long did this even last me? If it's actually the camera that's the issue, then, I mean, it was a used camera, so I'm not gonna complain. I paid, like, you know, less than MSRP for it, of course, but. All right, give me 1 second as I do this. All right, now we gotta change this to Elgato face cam. Nope, not that one. Come on. Yes! All right. Yeah, so this is my normal camera. There's you guys, hello. But this is my normal camera. It is freaking out, and I don't know why. This is not meant to be a webcam. This is actually just a point and shoot camera. Ugh. Okay, so now I gotta switch the mounting plate. I don't think I have a mounting plate here, so I gotta take it off of this one. As this thing is just hanging here. But what's up? We're gonna do the hand cam until I can get this onto the mount. Come on. Room tour. The room hasn't changed much since I last did a room tour. I mean, it's pretty much the same. All that's dark back there. Got a bunch of boxes down there on the ground. That is my pile of stuff that I need to get to, but I'm too lazy because I'm playing too much Power World right now. Okay, we got it on. I think we got this fixed. All right. Come on. All right, different field of view, but you know what? It works. Sorry about that, everyone. What's up, everybody? I should have, so 10 minutes before stream started, it started to have problems and I tried to fix it. I should have just went straight to the Elgato cam. This actually looks really good too. I mean, I think the other one looks slightly better because it's an actual camera, but this is, you know what? This is good enough. Let me check the browser scene. Perfect, I'm there. So, what's up everybody? Craig Lilly was first today. Then we got, let's see. I can tell when streams about to pop up. 2 or 3 old replays pop up in the homepage. Really? I could have sworn the replays don't pop up for people because it gets 0 VOD views after the fact. But okay, what's up Stang? What's up Giant Robots? What's up Kevin? ND says it's sold out. Yeah, we'll take a look. I think all the reviews, I didn't see when exactly it went for sale, but all the reviews dropped yesterday, right? So we've actually had a lot of graphics card launches in the last month. It's mostly because of NVIDIA doing all their supers, but AMD did have their 7600 XT. So I'm curious if they're gonna do if they're gonna do like a 7700 non-XT and a 7800 non-XT, kind of like how there was the 6700 and 6800 non-XTs, but we'll see. What's up, Kale? Hey y'all, weird that I sold out given the reviews. Here's the thing, that's what I was getting at in my most recent review of the 7600 XT. I feel like a lot of the like people are kind of overly negative about every card that comes out now, but there's a huge demand for them. People still want, you know, graphics cards of these performance levels, and even I think the reviews, I haven't watched all the full reviews yet. I just looked at some of the numbers. It looks like the 4080 Super is about 5% faster. Anywhere from like not faster to 5% faster than the 4080 non-super. So it's not really a super. It doesn't feel like a traditional super. It feels like kind of the equivalent of when AMD did their 6600 XT to 6650 XT, where it's like a slightly refreshed, slightly higher clocked version, because you're getting, you know, single digit performance gains. But yeah, again, I think the reviewers are generally just more negative because the titles and thumbnails get more, you know, clicks. But we'll take a look at the numbers and talk about it in a bit more. Right now, we're just chilling out. Let's see. Yeah, so Mike, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Sorry that happened during all the camera weirdness. But yeah, a whole bunch of people just got gifts. Brian Robinson, Newegg back to the old crap and make sure people buy a bundle. I saw the bundles. I didn't really have a chance to look through them because I was mostly looking for the single reviews, but we'll take a look at the bundles too. Just take a look at the whole situation and yeah. Oh my goodness, this purple is going crazy. It is way brighter. Let me turn this down. Let's get the energies matching. No, purple is still super bright. What the heck? Why is it just like a wavelength thing? There we go. Now they're more on par. What's up, Scabber VR? Oh my God. Gnome didn't want to get showed up and came in with the 50 gifted subs. Gifted memberships rather. This isn't Twitch. Oh my God. Okay, well, we're about to just have this going on for a bit as I get through the comments still. Craig Lilly said, no podcasts. No, man, I get the camera working. We are a one-man production over here, and we get it back to working ASAP. I may be a noob, but I feel like I've been doing this for long enough that I could at least fumble my way back to, you know, making it seem like I know what I'm doing. Just ask your producer to fix it. You do have a live producer, right? I think... You want a job, Jason? Okay. Alright, R-Flet with this week's tech drama. Power World modder allegedly received a DMCA from Nintendo. Huh. Power World is, yes. So we talked a little bit about it last week, but it is super hype right now. I've put quite a bit of hours into it. Cause I got it on Game Pass first, and then I got it on Steam a few days after, and now I have like 43 hours into it in, I think, a little bit over a week. Yeah, I've been playing it a lot. Let me go back to the browser window. Okay. I think one of Gamers Nexus's news videos also had Power World in the thumbnail, but when I skimmed through the video, I didn't really see much of it. So, you know, gotta get that clickbait going. Oh, wait, were the reviews delayed to today? I could have sworn they were... let me see. I think I got my days mixed up. 4080 Super review. 11 hours ago. Oh yeah, so that would have been this morning. Okay. For some reason, that felt 11 hours ago actually felt like 24 hours ago to me. Probably because I stayed up late playing Power World. But yeah, all the reviews came out, but we'll take a look at this in a second. We're still hanging out for a little bit. $500, I don't even make $500 per live. Nowhere near it. Nah, the Donos, I don't know how Donos could break a stream. It would only be if I had something set up that like makes the screen go crazy and it like crashes my computer. But I ain't saying none. I ain't saying none says, dude, I tried to get the 4080 at 12 a.m. but they were out, and when I checked at 7 they were sold out. Yeah. Okay, so this happens a lot of the times for any new release, even if it's like a bad card, right? If there is a new graphics card release, even for the ones that are very negatively reviewed, they are sold out in like the first 24 to 48 hours, but they do slowly come back in stock. Now, the 4080 Super, just looking at the numbers, I feel like it's not going to be the case. Because people were still buying 4080s regardless of its $1,200 price point for the, since it's, it hasn't been a year and a half yet, but we're coming up on that year and a half mark of it being released. It was still a card that I saw people, my brother-in-law bought one, or I helped him buy one, but I know people who couldn't get a 4090 because either they're sold out or being scalped, so they still paid that $1,200 MSRP for the 4080. So I'm not surprised that the 4080 Super is sold out right now, and I think it actually might be, if I had to bet on it, I would think that it might be hard to get for the coming weeks, even if it gets negative reviews, and we'll take a look at it in a second, because it is a $1,000, slightly better than a 4080, so I don't see any reason for it to just sit in stock, but we'll see. Gnome said, love Dancing Danny. Thank you. I appreciate you loving it so much to give the subs. Mike and Gnome, the MVPs for tonight. Thank you. This new 4080 isn't even worth it. Well, it's worth it to some people. It is definitely more worth it than the 4080 non-super was. That is for sure. KL130 says, from what I heard, yeah. So we'll take a look at the price in a second here. Actually, what's going on? Okay. Brian, you went to Micro Center this morning? Did you go? How early did you go before opening? There's a small line. About 20 people in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. Were they still in stock though? I guess throughout the day they probably would have sold out because not everyone, you know, is able to afford skipping work, skipping school, skipping whatever to go pick up a graphics card. So maybe like the initial crowd, you know, pre-opening didn't seem like that much, but I wouldn't be surprised if after people got off of work and school and stuff like that later on in the day, they sold out, but yeah. Okay, let's see. I just got one at Micro Center, Westbury. It's not that much of a difference. We'll take a look at it in a second here too. All right, so let me go to, let me turn down the Spitfire alerts. As much as I love the dancingness, we'll turn down a little bit so you can still hear me. So let's take a look at these reviews. So just typing in, this is an incognito window. I'm not signed in, so there's no like preferences for my pre-searches or, you know, anything like that. So we just take a look at what YouTube wants to throw to a random stranger. Gamers Nexus takes the top spot. 182,000 views already in, you know, the last almost half day. Then we got Paul's Hardware. Paul's Hardware comes in second on my YouTube, even though it's not more viewed than Jay, who has 122,000 views. But let's just read the titles of the 4080 Super just to get an idea of what the reviewers are saying about it. So, Gamers Next says lame but cheaper. NVIDIA RTX 40. Okay, I gotta get rid of this dancing. The Spitfire for a second. Or maybe I can move it. Let me move it to the side. We'll move my dancing self over here. So we got Gamers Nexus that says lame but cheaper. NVIDIA RTX 4080 Super Review Benchmark Comparison Value Discussion. So kind of a negative title. Lame but cheaper. I don't know. Doesn't that kind of cancel out to being mediocre? But if you say mediocre or like something like that, it's not gonna get as many views. The $200 discount is a distraction. Distraction. That's an interesting word that you don't see too often in like tech reviewers, especially like with graphics cards and CPUs and stuff. So Paul went with a different word, distraction. I haven't seen any of these, by the way. I haven't had a chance to watch them all, but I'm curious what all their actual thoughts are versus like Paul's title or Paul's thumbnail actually looks fine. It is very, you know, neutral. Steve's from Gamers Nexus, huge lame except but cheaper. So just like the title says, looks kind of negative because he's not that happy in the thumbnail. We got Jay who has a neutral thumbnail. Terrible value. Oh man. So Jay's the most negative so far. Terrible value. Yo, terrible. I don't know, man. That seems a little harsh for a card that I feel like a lot of people are gonna be buying. So we got super in quotes, kind of negative looking face on Hardware in Box, new but not new. So the title for Hardware in Box is actually pretty neutral. Then we got Nadia from Tech Testers. Nadia is straight up neutral all around, no bias in her thumbnails or her title. And then we go down. Kit Guru is very, yeah, so plenty of neutral. Okay, no, Daniel Owen didn't do a review on it, it looks like. So yeah, wow, for the top searches, it ends pretty quickly. And then we have some of these other Worms. Okay, Worms also has it. Still expensive, but what is it worth now? So kind of like in the air. So yeah, overall, we've got a mixed bag of all the different reviewers. So let's see what we got here. This is crazy, says JR. I'm still rocking my 3060, but do want to upgrade to a 4070 Super Ti soon. That'll actually be a pretty big upgrade. And on the more affordable side, considering, you know, it's well under $1,000. I don't think they're sold out. You mean like they only produce so many and ship so many to the different retailers because nothing is selling spectacular. So now there's an influx in demand, and yeah, we'll see how it corrects itself. But what's up, Firestorm? Didn't miss much. We were just looking at the reviews so far. We'll look at the numbers in a second. I think I'll go hardware unboxed, and maybe I'll check out Tech Testers because they have nice summary screens. Gamers Nexus, Steve doesn't do like a summary screen of like, you know, all the game averages and stuff like that. So it's harder to get like an overall across the board picture with that. But that's where I saw 1 to 3%. Watched Danny and Jay so far. I didn't do a review on it. What are we talking about here? But yeah, is that what Jay found? About 1 to 3%? Okay. Jason Wimmer says, not sensationalist reviewers making sensationalist titles. Curious. All good new GPUs are overpriced. What is your definition of a good GPU though? Kit Guru said it wasn't so super. Yeah, so I think it's fine for people to say that because it's, you know, within less than 5%, of a like performance bump, it shouldn't have been called a super, but what would they have called it? A refresh? Ever noticed the hardware unboxes guy, you mean Steve, always looks grumpy on NVIDIA reviews and happy on AMD ones? Wait, is that a thing? Let me see. I don't think that's a thing. There's no way. Ah! Your ears, I'm sorry. Ooh, that was loud. It's because the incognito had the volume up at the max. Okay, so you're saying that Steve's face is always grumpy on NVIDIA reviews and happy on AMD. No, look at this one. Look at this face right here. That one's pretty mad as well. Let's see if we go back, if they're, yeah, so the last 4 graphics card reviews have had like kind of negative-ish, negative leaning looking faces. Look, here's a AMD, it's not a review, but it's a revisit, and he has his hands on his head. And then there's kind of like rumor-ish videos. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Steve has any bias in the thumbnails with regards to negative versus positive faces. In the titles and stuff, maybe, but yeah. What the heck? Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, that's a constant unhappy face, exactly. Okay, so let's see what else. What GPU would I combo with the 12600K? I would go with 6700 XT, 6800, 6800 XT, 7700 XT, 7800 XT from NVIDIA's side. I would go as far up to 4070, I guess now 4070 Super or TI Super. Yeah, 12600K is still a very solid chip. And if you want to max out like your FPS in games, you're definitely gonna want to pump into the GPU. The 12600K can handle it. So, Can't get a 4080 Super at MSRP lame. Yeah, I'm curious, and we'll take a look at this too. In the secondhand market, I'm curious if people are already scalping them just because they're sold out, but we'll see. But Steve is unbiased. I'm trying to think of the biasness. I think, okay, here's the thing. Even though it seems like the reviewers, especially like the bigger ones, right? Like we just saw every thumbnail and title had some, except, yeah, even Paul's to a degree. What I've noticed in the review videos are that they sensationalize thumbnails and titles, obviously because that's just the meta for YouTube. But when you watch the video, and let's just say you click on this and you go to the conclusion and go to the final thoughts, I think they're pretty unbiased and more neutral and fair.
Is it enough after 14 months? As I said earlier,
let's see what Steve actually says.
But is it enough after 14 months? As I said earlier, this really is what the RTX 4080 should have been from the start. And even then, it would have only been really a very mild improvement over the RTX 3080. For it to be a true generational uplift, it would need to cost no more than $800, so that explains why the RTX 4080 was so poorly received upon launch and ultimately didn't sell that well. Of course, Nvidia's none too phased given the demand AI has generated for their GPUs. They really lucked it out the moment crypto went bust. The question still remains though, is a $1,000 RTX 4080 an attractive option in early 2024? I ask this because I suspect most who wanted this level of performance already pulled the trigger on a 4080 at $1,200 US, or got the 7900 XTX for $1,000. So I'm not really sure if those who have been holding out all this time for something better are going to jump on a $1,000 4080. But I suppose if you are in the market for a high-end GPU and your budget can accommodate for an RTX 4080 Super or 7900 XTX, you're probably asking yourself which one should you get. For me, the 4080 Super, it's a pretty easy pick here, given that they both do cost around $1,000 US. And look, it's easy enough to downplay stuff like ray tracing and upscaling as key selling points on GeForce GPUs that are priced below $500 US, and I don't mean we go out of our way to do so, rather they've proven to be questionable features when looked at in depth. For example, lower-end GeForce GPUs such as those in the 4060 series offer a heavily compromised ray tracing experience, both in terms of visual quality and the frame rate performance. Moreover, upscaling doesn't work that well at 1080p. The quality is quite poor as there simply isn't enough pixel data to work with. But for high-end products that can provide frame rates north of 60 FPS while making heavy use of ray-traced effects in games such as Cyberpunk, it does become a key selling point, or at least it can be depending on your preferences. Likewise, because you're able to game at least 1440p, or really you'd probably be gaming at 4K, upscaling becomes a useful tool as it works considerably better at higher resolutions, and it really is quite fantastic at 4K. So you can lean much more heavily on Nvidia's superior ray tracing performance and upscaling quality when comparing the 4080 Super to AMD's Radeon RX 7900 XTX. As it stands, the Radeon GPU is just 10% better value based on our 4K rasterization data, which means it really needs to drop down to at least $900, and even then, a lot of gamers will easily justify the $100 premium to take advantage of ray tracing and DLSS. So it'll be very interesting to see if AMD makes a much needed price.
Yeah, so just listening to all of that, Steve basically says, of course, so I think the 7900 XTX, especially, you know, with the slight reduction in price since it's been launched, on AMD's side of things, because of how strong it was before any of the supercards released, it was a pretty popular card from what I've seen. A lot of people who had around the $1,000 mark to spend, they happily bought it because it performed better than the $1,200 4080 non-super. But now you get something that is 10% less performance, but has better AI ray tracing, you know, DLSS 3, specifically frame generation on NVIDIA side of things, because frame generation from both aren't equivalent and all that stuff, right? At $1,000, there's no way you can go from spending $1,000 on a 7900 XTX performance level being great value to a 10% drop, but then compensating for the NVIDIA's suite of, you know, bells and whistles, and calling that also terrible value. There's no way. The performance is too close and the price is too close for it to have one be great value and one be terrible trash value. So now let's take a look at actually what the customers are saying with their wallets. We got Newegg. Okay, so RTX 4080. What can we find here? We're gonna sort by lowest price, and unless they went back in stock, sometimes they do go out of stock like in the morning and then they refresh and restock halfway through the day. But if we take a look here, what are these? Dude, Newegg, you know what I want. I want the 4080 Super. Stop trying to give me bundles with 4070 Supers and power supplies and tricking me with your shortened titles. We're gonna look for 4080, oh no, 4080 Super, here we go. So we got filtered out. So if we look at the lowest price, this one's available, sold and shipped by Newegg for 30 bucks more. This is the Ventus though. But yeah, look, the $999 models, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. All these are out of stock. All these are out of stock as well. And then you get into these, what is this? Is this a bundle deal? 4080 Super with the 5700 X3 or 5800 X3D. Interesting. So $300 value on the 5800 X3D there. Let's go to Best Buy. Is there a toggle for removing bundles? Let me see. Bundles. Remove. Oh, there it is up top. Good catch. So now we see, is everything sold out? As we get even the higher end models that are approaching $1,200, Asus Strix sold out. Asus Strix Super OC sold out. $1,300 White Strix sold out. I mean, not a single card is available. Where's that Ventus one I saw though? This one's available. Oh wait, no, this is a, no, that's not, where's the Ventus? The Ventus was 1030. Oh, it was just in stock a second ago and now it's sold out. So it looks like they're refreshing stock and people are just buying them up almost instantly. Let's go over to Best Buy. Were most of those ever in stock? I would think so. It sounds like some people in chat were able to buy them. NVIDIA's direct website too apparently sold them. But let's take a look at Best Buy's. No. Don't give me just 4080s. So you can get your 4070 Super readily. Oh no, see what are the details? Yep, I have to have an account required to sign in. Cool. 4080 Super. Sold out. Yeah, they don't have that many different models in stock, and they don't have nearly as much as Newegg, but everything's sold out here too. And let's just, for good measure, Amazon wants me to do a captcha. Cool. Ooh, we got a $1,600 one right here. Look at that. Is this a scalper already? Joe's Tech Shop. I feel like that's kind of a scumbag thing to move. Or thing to do. Support bracket. Okay, that's 4080 Super. Dude, Amazon. I hate Amazon. Like, between Newegg and Amazon for PC hardware, maybe it's just graphics cards. No, I feel like the scalping, every time I've checked to look for stuff that was kind of hard to get, the scalping on Amazon just seems way worse than Newegg. Like Newegg, a lot of times it'll just go to sold out. But Amazon, when you search, it just defaults to these third-party sellers who, look at this, $1,800. That's more than a 4090. You can't get a 4090 for $1,800 right now because of the high demand, but still. Micro Center has them, but Micro Center, you have to have a local store because you're not getting one shipped to you, unfortunately, from Micro Center. But yeah, so here's the interesting thing. What if we went on eBay right now and looked at RTX 4080 non-supers, because they're basically the same thing, right? If we look at 4080 non-supers, if I wanted to buy a used one, I guess I could get one for $1,000. And then if we look back on Newegg for the 4080 non-super, let me filter this out real quick. 4080 non-super, the price isn't gonna be moved, is it? It's gonna be stupidly, a used one is $1,050, and then the cheapest new one is close to $1,200 still. For a card that is worse than the refreshed version that costs less. Look at the 4080 Eagle, check how much those are. They're not even here on Newegg, are they? Yeah, I don't see the 4080 Eagle, because they're gonna stop making them in favor of the 4080 Supers, right? So yeah. So if we go back to eBay though, let's say you're okay with used parts. See, this is what you're faced with. You can either wait for the 4080 Super to come back in stock. We don't know how long that's gonna take, because my guess is there's a high demand for them, but we don't have the numbers, like, you know, the sales numbers and stuff like that, and we'll just have to wait and see, like next week or something, see if they come back in stock. But you don't even have a choice in the used market, because it would make no sense to be impatient and pay over $1,000 for a 4080 non-super used, when you can get one with you know, a new warranty, first time owner, everything 4080 Super for the same price. We just have to wait for it to get back in stock. Wonder what the hash rate is on Supers. 4080 is about 60 cents a day right now. 60 cents a day? Is that... Okay. So I never got into mining and stuff like that. I like touched a scratch on the surface when it came to doing research with regards to like discussing mining, but I never mined and stuff like that. If you're at 60 cents a day, is that even worth doing anymore? Couldn't you do... I guess people attribute like hands-off passive income, right? I don't think it's really that passive though, because moving crypto around with the fees, and then now that you have to like pay taxes on it, and also you have to upkeep your system, and I don't know, it just seems like 60 cents a day for a 4080, which is $1,000-ish card, is that even worth it? Couldn't you do something better with your time? I feel like you could panhandle and make more money, but it's passive. I don't know, man. I feel like owning a mining rig isn't as passive as people try to seem, because there was work that was put into securing the card, whether it be driving somewhere, buying it online, testing it, setting up the BIOS, putting it into the system, making sure your system is like up and running, then getting the crypto to whatever wallet or exchange to translate it into money. That's not zero effort passive income in my book. I don't know. It's more of a hobby than passive income. I mean, if it's a hobby, then by all means, but I don't know if the 60 cents a day hash rate for 4080s is true or not, but even if it's $1, it just seems like not worth the effort at all. But maybe that's just me. It's better than 0 cents a day. I mean, anything's better than 0 cents a day. I would rather go out on Craigslist, find used computer chairs, clean them up, and resell them. And I feel like I would make way more money with the same amount of time spent. But you could literally survey and make more money. Yeah, you could do those online surveys and make like, I don't know how much they pay out, but that was something that I looked into a long time ago, before, when I was younger and didn't have a job, but I needed money for like stuff. I looked into doing stuff like that. 4080 Eagle on eBay prices, I don't know. The issue is, I don't know if people are gonna be scalping these new 4080 Supers. because of the high demand and for AI startups and stuff like that, especially like to other countries, because the US has the best prices. So I don't know. How many people are even in the market? Let me ask a poll. First poll of the night. Let me go. Start a poll. Do you own or are you in the market for a and I'm asking 1000 GPU because maybe you bought it when it was not $1,000. Like maybe you bought the 7900 XTX when it was 900, but that still is considered $1,000+ card. Do you own a card, whether it be this generation, last generation, or the previous generation, or are you looking for a card that on its release was $1,000? Yes or no? I'm asking this question because you hear all the time that high-end cards serve like a more niche or hardcore enthusiast audience, but I'm just curious. Now, in this scenario, technically $1,000 isn't even the most high-end, right? Some people might call that like upper mid-tier. I would call those people crazy. To me, anything $1,000+ is definitely high-end, but I'm just curious how many people are in the market for something like that, because those are the people, like, we'll take the sample size here and maybe knock some percentages off, but it would show like how many people are actually in the market for something like a 4080 Super. I wanted a founder, so I got the 4080 Super. Free State Crypto, what are you upgrading from? If you are upgrading at all. if you went from a 4080 non-founders to a 4080 Super founders, I mean, I guess that's fine too, but I'm curious. Chase Adderwood says, buying a 4070 made me sad. I could never buy a $1,000 card. Oh, you mean like a 4070 was already expensive enough for you to kind of make you like, you know, questioning it? But yeah, I could never buy a $1,000 card either. I operate in the 400 or lower card tier category. James Ray says, every video card in my house don't even add up to $1,000. I can't say that because I do have a lot of cards and old cards on hand used for testing purposes and stuff like that, but I would be in that same case too if I didn't make YouTube videos. What up, Chris? Most that Coalition Gaming Chris could justify is $500 to $600 range. I think that's pretty reasonable. If I had to stretch the budget, I would say up to $600. I mean, I would, for a purchase that expensive, it's not like me straight up just going to Newegg day one and buying it. I'm sitting on that decision for like a week before I pull the trigger. If we're talking about $600 range for a single computer component, yeah, that's very expensive. Snoop Dogg says, frick these prices, I want graphics for the low. Yeah, so buy used, buy last generation, and that's where you get low price graphics cards. You don't get low prices at current generation, especially in the upper tiers. That's not where you save your money. Jason, how is buying a graphics card and letting it run up your electricity bill for pennies a hobby? That's actually a good question. I was thinking that, but I didn't ask that. But now you actually went out and asked that. I'm curious too. I don't want to shame people, of course, because, dude, people have fun in different ways. I think it might be if I had to guess, I don't know if there's any crypto miners in the chat that could chime in and maybe share your side of the story, but I think it's the optimization aspect of it, right? Anything that a human being can do, they will find a way to be competitive against it. So in that sense, I think people trying to maximize like their hash rates at the lowest power consumption possible and like generating the most money. It's not money until you pull it out, but generating the most equivalent of money and being like the top or being one of the best at it. That's how I could see it being a hobby, like just the optimization and min-maxing of it. Just like you could do that in any game. You could argue that playing video games also, there's no benefit to playing video games, right? People find leisure different ways. To them, maybe optimizing like their mining rigs is like playing a video game, except they get money at the end of it, whereas people like me who play Power World get pixels at the end of it. So I don't know. That's my take on how maybe it could be like a game. Is $800 a valid budget for a PC? Yes, very. $800, you could build a RX 6700 XT Ryzen 5 5600 system easily on $800, brand new. If you go used, you could get slightly nicer hardware. Mine in the 1060 days had 8 of them running for 3 years. Dang. If you're willing to share, because it's been so long, how much did you profit after you sold off your rigs, and like what was your net profit at the end of that? With the electricity bill, buying the hardware, and then reselling the hardware at the end. You don't have to give an amount, but in like the hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, you know, I'm just curious. Did I just imply crypto is not currency? I didn't say that. I should have said it's not the equivalent of cash until you pay all the fees and taxes to withdraw it. I like building rigs, but in reality, I don't think I ever turned a profit. Okay. I mean, your name says Free State Crypto, so I would imagine that you have at least one mining rig. Oh, Chris is getting caught up. The stream started for me when you switched the camera. Yeah, so the camera, I can't go a minute or so. Let me see if I can unplug this thing. The camera wasn't going more than a minute without completely freezing up and me having to reset it in OBS. And it was starting to be choppy up to the point where it would freeze and have to be reset. So I don't know. I'm just gonna unplug it and let it sit. Usually I just leave it on the battery, which is plugged into the wall. I don't know if that's it. Maybe it's just the camera's old, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can troubleshoot it and test it and make sure it's good to go for next week's stream. But I wasn't blaming you or anything, Chris. I was just mentioning that I got it from you for cheap and it was a used camera. So I can't expect it to last forever. And I was just saying one of the things about the used market is, you know, you get something used, it's already part way into its life. Like, it's not gonna last forever, and used stuff will typically not last as long as new stuff, statistically. So yeah, that's what's going on with it. So that's why I'm back on the Elgato face cam. So that's it. Actually, the Elgato face cam, I forgot how nice it looks. I mean, I bought it and then quickly switched over to this because you found the deal for me, Chris, which I'm very appreciative of. But the Elgato face cam, I mean, I use it here and there for other stuff so that I don't have to move this camera around. But if I had to go back to this full time, I'm actually okay with it. It is looking pretty sharp. Chris's hobby right now is being incredibly frustrated at his day job, then going home being incredibly frustrated at his thing to take a break. Have you gone on vacation recently, Chris? Your new, if I remember correctly, your new day job pays a lot better, but that obviously would usually come with more responsibilities and frustrations. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. So hopefully you can get through this rut, you know, and just try to relax. When do you film the next LAN event? So our next LAN tentatively is in February, end of February. We haven't confirmed yet, but I don't know why. Maybe it's because I released the LAN video, you know, just at the beginning of this month. But it feels like we landed not too long ago, but we're coming up on 6 months. So yeah, next land is February. I guess it is going to be a shorter term because we land in September and now February is like 5.5 months, but whatever. Yeah, so next land is already planned and stuff like that, so I'm excited for that. Can you get a free PC? No, I do not give free PCs to people who ask for free PCs. The only time I have given a free PC is when I put out like an ad that says, if you need a free PC, hit me up. But for people who preemptively ask for free PCs, no. Are you going to get the new Gamer Cup Noodle stuff? There's a new Gamer Cup Noodle? Hold up. Before we get to that, I want to take one quick look at my local OfferUp. Actually, no, OfferUp in general. It could be everywhere. RTX 4080 Super. We're looking at people in Florida trying to sell it for $1,300 for the Founders Edition. This is California. Is this a scam? I will gladly give this away for retail. I was going to keep for myself, but couldn't cancel anymore. Okay, so someone pre-ordered it, and now they're just trying to resell it, huh? Would y'all buy one of this for retail? I'm trying to think of the negatives, right? There are negatives to buying a brand new product not directly from the store, aside from being scammed and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. Warranties, I think they should be transferable. So this person is asking for Zelle or PayPal. They're going to give you the exact cart for exactly what they paid for. This is a Founders Edition too. Yeah, $10.95 because of tax. I don't know. Maybe if they gave me the receipt, but the receipt wouldn't have my name on it. I don't know how that would affect warranties should anything go wrong. I think a lot of companies do have transferable warranties because they do realize that people buy and sell in the used market. But yeah, for someone who was able to get one, now that it's sold out, they're selling it to you for the exact same price. You know, this is a meetup. Wait, buy now? Unless they're trying to ship it. If they're trying to ship it, then I would call that a scam. But if they're okay with meeting up in person, I mean, their account isn't brand new and they have some success. So yeah, I don't know. If it wasn't a stock photo, I mean, yeah, so in the messages, well, they have maybe a generic looking receipt. So let's just assume that you're able to go and meet up with this person in person to pick it up. Get it physically in your hands. Would you be okay with that? I would still be kind of iffy about it, just, you know, because I'm not getting any discount on it. And I'm technically a second owner according to the warranty companies who I would think want the original receipt. You would, yeah, I'm leaning towards I would personally wait and buy it myself. It's either that or I need to get some kind of discount once it's used and, you know, less than this. Support your local PC stores. I don't know if, all right. We've talked about mom and pop shops like very occasionally on the stream. When's the last time any of y'all been to a mom and pop shop, like computer shop? The ones that are basically there to repair, like a PC repair shop. Because I don't know of any shops, and at least around me anyways, that are like, we build and sell PCs. No, they're all PC repair shops, and then they keep a stock inventory of like CPUs, RAM, some GPUs. But even then, I don't know how many of those, you know, mom and pop computer repair shops locally carry 4000 series and 7000 series AMD and NVIDIA cards. I've not walked into one in a long time. I've seen some, but I've never been. Yeah, that's the thing. I have no reason to walk in except to like look out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. But then that'd be an awkward conversation because those types of stores, as soon as you walk in, all the employees look at you and they start talking to you and say basically like, "How can we help you today?" And I'm not just be like, "I'm just looking around. I'm just curious what was in here." And I'm not gonna make up a lie and say that I have PC problems and I need help with it. Come on now. But yeah. So that's what I was gonna say, Chris. And I'm definitely not gonna walk in there with a camera and be like, "Hey, I'm a content creator on YouTube. I was just curious, you know, why these shops are still around. Do you guys make any money?" Like, I know Linus did that, but when he did it in that video, he bought out every item in the store. So that was a benefit. I do not have the power to do that. So maybe there's an angle where I could go into one of them and interview them and have them give their side of the story as to why they're still like an important part of the community, and then ask all the questions I want, like, you know, an ignorant idiot, and then at least give them some exposure. But I don't know, we'll see. Power World is gonna be great on my, dude, Power World looks beautiful. So 4080 Super, cranked up the graphics, high resolution, high FPS. That would be a pretty sick experience. I'm playing at probably like 60 FPS right now on my A770. There's one up the road for me. They do repairs and carry older hardware and parts from what I can tell, but I've never been in, despite living here for 10 years. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is a video idea. And here's the thing, I think one of the negative like reputations that these types of mom and pop repair shops have, PC repair shops have, local ones, is that they charge a decent amount for their services, right? But they're not charging anything more than your typical craftsman or like handyman type job would charge. Like if you hire a plumber, a mechanic, an electrician, they charge 50 to 100 bucks an hour because it's a specialty like thing. Technically, PC repair shops, as much as we all think we're so good at it and can do it, people could say the same thing about doing their own plumbing and their own like electricity work and working on their car. But there's a huge demand for people to pay others anywhere from $50 to $100 an hour to do it, right? So as much as these PC repair shops usually get memed on for being overpriced, usually they charge based on what the going rate is for a specialty skill per hour. So it's whatever. My local shops mostly handle non-English speaking like Viet or Spanish, says Jason, which is also huge. If you can serve like a segment of that type of community that has, you know, trouble with speaking English, hopefully you're not taking advantage of them and ripping them off, but, you know, providing a service for them, like, that's a good thing. User24 says, can I use a pigtail 8-pin PSU cable on my 4070 Super? What are you pigtailing? Oh, are you talking about, so you have a power supply with one cable that's pigtailing out to two, and then you have the single Y cable going into it? What, it depends, what's your power supply? That's actually one I don't know off the top of my head. I would definitely have to refer to like the forums or Reddit or something like that. Here's my thought on it before looking this up. Actually, no, you would have to look at the rails and things like that. Yeah. So what's the 4070 require? Let me see 4070 power consumption. Before I say anything, because, so the 4070 average 224 watts, up to 250 watts, up to 270, and then 300 watts at 4K Ultra. What is a 8-pin power delivery? Is that 150? It's 150. So if you have a power supply, like Corsair, for example. Corsair, their CX, what is it, 650, 600? Their CX 600 series lineup. I think they only come with a single pigtail with 2 8-pins on it. But Johnny Guru himself, who's like a upper dog over at Corsair in the power supply division, he said they are rated and are okay with for the power delivery that the two, up to 300 watts, which the 2 connectors on the single pigtail puts out. So for something like that, I would think it would be okay with the 4070 Super. Obviously, it's always advised to split it to different cables. But if you're using some like questionable power supply from like some unknown brand or something like that, then I would say definitely don't do it. But if you have like a high-end like power supply, or not even it have to be a high-end, like AB or even C tier, I would think you'd be okay. But definitely look at the label of the power supply, see what the 12 volts actual like the amperages, and see how much power it could deliver. $750 watt doesn't say anything. You have a 750 watt power supply and it only has a single cable. That would already make me question it. What's the brand and model? 750 watts says nothing about the quality. Yes, the 4080 Super actually sold out already. We don't know if it's for real sold out or if it's just day one sold out. It might come back in stock tomorrow and be in stock till the end of time. Not till the end of time, but for its relevant life cycle. Is a 10700F good with the 7800 XT? I would think that's I mean, I could see the 10700F potentially bottlenecking some games, but I don't think it's a super unbalanced system, especially if you already have a 10700F and you're trying to upgrade graphics cards. I would still usually lean towards getting the best graphics card you can get, because you're going to keep that graphics card a long time and eventually upgrade your CPU. You don't have to have a perfect balance as soon as you upgrade. You can upgrade one part at a time and hold on to a slight, I hate the word bottleneck, but you could hold on to a slight bottleneck for like a little bit of time. Yes, so Chris says, as someone who does PC repair on the side, I severely undercharge. I do too. I do not feel comfortable charging friends and family 50 bucks an hour to work on their PCs and stuff like that. Like, I do them favors, then they do me favors. Sometimes they buy me food, sometimes they buy me a gift. Like, here, a perfect example. Like this thing right here. This was a gift from one of my friends that lives in Portland, Oregon. He comes to me when he needs to upgrade PCs and stuff like that, and I just send him links. Or he's like, oh, I need to build something. I just send him links and stuff. I don't even build the systems for him because it doesn't make sense for me to build it and ship it. It's cheaper for him to put it together, and I just help him with parts. So like, one year he bought me, or he got custom artwork made of me because he knows I like Pokemon. So, like I do a lot of free PC work, but the people I do it for, I don't mind even if they got me nothing, or don't pay me or tip me or buy me food. I do it because that's what my specialty is, and I'm useful to my loved ones. And then when they are good at something, I go to them and ask them for help with it, and it's kind of like an equivalent exchange. Let me take that back. I don't like Pokemon anymore. I like Power World. Pokemon, thing of the past. The recent games, trash. Power World #1. So now I need to go and ask him to get an equivalent of this done with PALs instead. I'm using a Red Dragon PSU. Dude, Red Dragon? Do they still sell PSUs? Give me a second. Dude, we have quite a few viewers tonight. To anyone who's new to the stream, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the chill tech and nerd talk. Let's see, Red Dragon power supply. Is this like in a different country, or do they still readily sell power supplies? But yeah, It's pretty lit tonight in terms of viewership in chat, so hope you all are doing well. We stream every single week, Wednesdays at the same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we talk PC tech, we talk about the current trend or news in like hardware. Today was the 4080 Super, but last week we talked 4070 Super. The week before was also like 7600 XT, so yeah, just whatever's going on. And then we also try to troubleshoot and help people too when they have questions. But yeah, user, you have a Red Dragon power supply, gold certified. I'm gonna have to consult a tier list for this one. I have not even seen the Red Dragon power supplies in years. But if I had to guess, Red Dragon, all units. Okay, I don't know what tier this is, but I just Control F, Red Dragon, all units. E tier, avoid. Wow, that is a very blanketing umbrella statement. They did all units. Is this the only time this appears on this tier list? I've never seen this. Nope. We have Ares Game, all it's funny because the Red Dragon got E tier, which seems bad, but obviously they're still in F tier, right? Armageddon / Power Logic, all units, replace immediately. Game Max, Game Power, all units, and Nox. So yeah, Red Dragon and Jet Tech have all at least made it to avoid tier and not replace immediately tier. That's funny. So given that, and it's a 600 watt power supply, I would not use the pigtails for the Y cable on your 4070 Super, because each of the 8 pins are only rated for 150 watts. And just from the quick Google search, the 4070 Super in some conditions can push close to that 300 watt power draw. So I would not risk it, personally. Or 750, even, here's the thing. You gotta start questioning the design of the power supply when it's 750 watts, yet it only has one single cable pigtailing into 2 8-pin for the PCIe power. Most 750 watts out there would have 2 separate cables, either with no pigtail or one with the pigtail and stuff like that. But the fact this is a 750 watt with a single cable pigtailing it is what also sketches me out. Now here's the thing. You could ignore myself and everybody in this chat's advice. You could pigtail it and your computer could work fine. It's just a risk mitigation thing, right? There are a lot of power supplies out there that are from the F and E tier that people have run in their computers for years with no issues. We're talking about like powerful gaming computers. People who never found the tier list, they just bought whatever cheap power supply they could. I used to buy cheap power supplies before I looked into reviews and stuff like that, like years ago. I would like some of my first computer builds that I did for me and my friends were probably power supplies that were in the E and F tier, just because I bought based on price. And a lot of those power supplies lasted 5, 6, 7 years with no problems. So you could be fine, but if you're coming to us for advice about it, I would avoid it. James says, I have a crap power supply, lol. And Jason makes a good point. Third world countries exist too. You think they're buying top-end power supplies? They're not. Yeah, that's a really good point too. So, like, as much as people like to crap on the tier list, there's like a healthy balance, right? My balance point is like at the C tier. I love C tier power supplies. They strike like that price to performance balance without feeling like it has that whatever % chance to burn down your house or fry your computer. But that's just me. Some people would never touch a C tier for whatever reason. What's the worst that can happen? It could damage your graphics card, it could damage your system, or if the cables and stuff burn, it could start a fire, or I don't know about the internals. I would think it's more of the cables because you're drawing too much power. Maybe like exactly what it was rated for. Would you ever use? Yes, I buy used power supplies all the time. I test it before I buy it, but I have no problems with buying used power supplies, whether it be from official refurbish or from like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. Yeah. And actually, if you go back and watch some of my personal systems videos on YouTube, I use a used power supply in them. I think it was the 750 watt Supernova when I had the Intel 6700K in my system. Yeah, that was a used power supply. Odd stability issues are the worst too, can happen. Yeah. If it's not stable, then you could get game crashes or like screen flicker or stuff like that, and you might not know what the problem is. It could be something in the card or the power supply. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. I'm actually surprised by the split of this poll. We've got almost a 50-50 split for people who have high-end $1,000+ power supplies when they were released versus not. But then again, if I move that to $800 to $700, that question, how many, how would that shift? But still, 1,000+ for 45 almost % people saying yes, that's a lot. Can I buy a random 8-pin PCIe cable and use it on this PSU? What? Oh. Is this like a modular or semi-modular power supply and you lost one of the cables? Is that why? Because that's the only... You're saying buy a... No, you cannot buy a random 8-pin though. Because not all power supply companies do their wiring the same. That is a surefire way to kill your power supply or your system. Isn't that what... Can anyone remind me? Remember back when Greg Salazar was Science Studio, he had a problem with NZXT something. We're talking like 6 years ago here. That's why I can't remember. But Greg Salazar had a problem and he thought it was like the NZXT hub. But then I think Gamers Nexus did research on the issue and turned out he used the wrong power supply cable for his modular power supply. Is anyone recalling this? Or is like nobody remember that far back? But yeah, do not mix and match power supply cables. Because different companies actually wire the male or the start and the ends differently. You have to like look through a diagram to see. And with Red Dragon, I'm almost certain you're not going to be able to find the what's it called, like a diagram of all the different the cables. Yeah. Big Wiener JC. Boys, where can I find a 4080 Super? You can find those hopefully in the next week or so. But right now, you're gonna be scalped if you're trying to buy one. Check tomorrow morning, actually. I saw the 4080 Super Ventus at the beginning of stream. It was in stock, but when I refreshed, it was out of stock. I'm thinking they're going in and out of stock, like, throughout the day. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about online only. Micro Center apparently has them, so definitely check out your local Micro Center. I don't know though, man, because of the, they only have so much space in like the back and on the shelves. I have a feeling that people are gonna flock to Micro Centers because they can't buy it online. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to hold stock either. But you can go check. Maybe you can actually no. You can use the online. You can check online. What am I saying? Let's check Columbus, Ohio, because that's what someone said. Columbus, Ohio. So RTX 4080 Super, they'll tell you what the stock is. So they have 12 in stock, buy in store. 6 in stock, buy in store. 15 in stock, 3 in stock. You can get the PNY Vetro one for MSRP. This is Columbus, by the way. You have to check your own local one. Maybe the one in California is sold out because there's more, you know, that's more like a tech hub. But yeah, you cannot buy online. If you do look at Micro Center, you're just looking for the stock on their website to buy in store. Best Buy is sold out, yeah. I buy my GPU only from Micro Center because they sell locally. I have a feeling a lot of people would buy from Micro Center if they had it one in reasonable driving distance. Like, yeah, I mean, it would be a perfect excuse to make another trip to Micro Center for something. But I think once you start, like, if they put a Micro Center near me, if they put it at where the Fries used to be, that would be about a 40-ish minute trip one way, so an hour and a half. Maybe more with traffic round trip. I would still go there anytime I was already heading down to like Seattle. But like if you put a Micro Center 2 hours away from me, I don't know, man. That's like a once every few months trip or something, I think. Because after a while, it's just not worth the hassle of picking it up if you're gonna have to waste the gas and spend the time driving back and forth, as opposed to just getting it, you know, online when it's in stock a day or two later or whatever. James says Micro Center is 1.5 hours away from me in Rhode Island. That's one way, right? So that'd be a three hour round trip for however much gas that is too. Micro Center is my Toys R Us. Yeah, remember Toys R Us? Ah, those were the days. They aren't even adding to cart in Micro Center. When you add to cart, can't you buy it and pay for it and have them hold it on reserve? Or do they not do that for new releases, Chase? I could have sworn if you add to cart and buy online with your account and pay with like a credit card, I thought then they would hold it in stock for you. Or is that like a different policy for different types of hardware and stuff? They won't let you do GPUs because people put them on hold and not pick them up. Okay, so that makes sense right there. Yeah, people just putting them on hold and then like they end up buying it on Best Buy or something else instead and then canceling it. That makes sense. I think that's actually a pretty good system. The only way, I guess they could avoid that. Another good system, I think, is charging a $50 if you cancellation fee That would also stop people from canceling it and not picking it up. And if they do, then Micro Center pockets $50 each time. I'd be okay with that too. I don't know if there would be much complaints from people who actually want to buy and use the cards. It'd be just people who abuse the system of not picking up their cards that would be complaining about a $50 non-refundable fee. But I would be down for something like that. They used to require, yeah, a $1 deposit is not gonna work. You need to up that to like $50 to $100. We're talking, you know, serious business here. Is it already over MSRP? It's not. So the reason why, like, they do have the ones, like plenty of models in stock. They also have some of these extreme overclocked ones, or, you know, these other ones like the Strix. Oh my, wait, what is this? This isn't even a super. This is a non-super 4080 Strix for $1,400. Yeesh. What the heck? Wait. Can I sort by specific graphics cards? See, there's not that much. Not all these are even 4080s. Let's see what they even have. Yeah, these are 47. Okay, so let's take a look at how many models of 4080 Supers they actually have. We're looking at the Zotac, Trinity, Zotac, or no, the PNY Verto, Ventus, which is $50 more. And then you got the overclock version of the Zotac one for $1,100. Then that's it. They got 4 models at Columbus anyways that are available to buy. I didn't check. So these are in stock. So they might have had more and they might have sold out, or this might just be all they have. But on their website, that's all I'm seeing. 4 cards, because then you get to this 4080 tough version, non-super, for stupid pricing right here. 1 open box for 1170. Eesh, what is going on? Yes, user 24. If you have a CX650, which has 2 separate cables for the 8-pin, even if it didn't, I would recommend that over the Red Dragon power supply, just based on apparently the people who were looking through the in the details of the Red Dragon power supplies have deemed them all to be crap. So, especially if you're running into a card that is pulling enough power to kind of reach the limit of what the cables are rated for, I would definitely go with the Corsair power supply, even if it is 100. It's 100 watts less, but it might not actually be 100 watts less. Let me see if I can find something about this Red Dragon power supply. Do they have the sticker? Red Dragon, okay. Do they not have the whole sticker on the side? I'm trying to find the Red Dragon. Wow, none of their specifications is usually where they have it, but they don't. And then here also has no useful information. So yeah, just put the Corsair unit in. Sharma, the gamer, says, what is the best time frame to buy or change a GPU? Like, I bought 3060 3 years ago. Now I want to change it. Should I wait 2 more years? There's no definite answer to a kind of question like this, but I'll give you my thoughts on it. Upgrade your graphics card whenever you feel like it's not performing up to the level that you want it. That could be 6 months after you just bought one. Let's say you bought a graphics card that's, you know, brand new. Let's say you bought a 4060 or 4060 Ti, and for whatever reason, it is not getting enough frames. You're not enjoying, you know, you're not enjoying the performance that it's giving you. Buy a new one and sell that one. Now, on the other side of the that equation, let's say you have your 3060 and you've had 0 problems with it. Keep it. There's no reason just because it's been 3 years to upgrade to a new graphics card if you don't feel like the need to. When you're playing games, does it feel like it's stuttery or choppy, or like is the frame rate too low for you? Like, do you want 100 plus FPS but you're only getting 60? If that's the case, then buy right now. I have rarely recommended for people to wait for the next generation to come out, because as we've seen year after year, every time a card gets released, people complain about the pricing anyway. So it's always the last generation stuff, especially in the used market, that people love the price to performance of. So yeah, that's my take on it. Hard to resist the new shiny thing. I mean, if money isn't an issue for you, but I resist the new shiny thing all the time because I don't have, like, you know, infinite money. Why does my hair look so dark today? Is it because of what I'm wearing? I'm looking at my, like, you can't even see my hair today for whatever reason against the backdrop. Is it because this light isn't getting the top of my head? Huh. I did not dye my hair or anything, by the way. For some reason, it looks like it's dyed. I don't know. I'm looking at myself on the screen. It looks weird. I don't know why. Oh, is it the white balance? Yeah, that must be it. It's because it's probably picking up this bright sweatshirt. So it's just... Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to play with it because it's just running on auto mode right now. I'll have to mess with it when I get a chance. James bought a 4080 used locally for 800 bucks. Very solid price. Yeah, for 800, even with the 4080 Super coming out, that's such a solid buy. Christian Cervantes says, I should have gotten the ARC A770 limited edition. It looks so clean. I mean, a GPU could look clean, but what if it doesn't perform or have, like, you know, bad drivers and stuff like that that doesn't perform to your liking? What do you have though, Christian? I'm curious that you want the A770 over. Be mindful if you buy these powerful GPUs, most of the time you need a CPU upgrade too, otherwise you deal with horrible bottleneck like I do. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think a lot of people are pretty aware of bottlenecking, and like I don't think anyone going out to buy a 4090 is sitting on like an i3 12100 or something like that. People are usually pretty aware. Sometimes they come into the, you know, the stream chat or on the Discord servers and stuff like that and ask, is this a good pairing? Because they are, you know, looking to buy a new CPU. But yeah, don't just go out and buy, unless you know for sure you are gonna, you know, maybe you're waiting for another paycheck, so you get the GPU first and then you're bottlenecking for 2 weeks until your new paycheck comes in, and then you get the CPU and motherboard upgrade, stuff like that. I just sold my 3080 for 380 bucks to subsidize my buy, says James. 380, are they that low now? That's such a good price. $380 for a 3080? I feel like on eBay, they might be a little bit more than that. So whoever got that from you, let me see, parts only. Stop giving me parts only. Missing screws, overheating, so we don't count that one. Only DisplayPort works, we don't count that one either. Water cooling block. Jesus, why would you pay $400 for a water cooling block? That's as much as the actual graphics card itself. 400 bucks. Okay, yeah, so 400 bucks for like the only, what looks like, this is from Zotac? No, this is from Sharknado. But yeah, you can't get one for much less than 400 bucks. So 380, that's actually a pretty decent price you let it go for. I'm using an i3 12100F and an RX 6600. You think a no. If you have a 6600 already, I don't think the jump to a 3060, even if it is 12 gigabytes, is worth it. It is not powerful enough of a card to fully utilize that VRAM. Maybe in some games, if you did like a side-by-side benchmark, it'd get more FPS than the 8 gigabyte version. But in general, you already have a pretty decent card in the RX 6600. I would personally just wait until you have more saved up to make a bigger jump. Don't do like a mediocre sideways-ish upgrade, side grade. Like if you're gonna upgrade, do it to like a 3070 or better eventually. I know it's more expensive, but it's just, you have a decent card already in the 6600. Christian is on integrated graphics. Oh, okay. If you're on integrated graphics, I'm trying to go back to your original question. Wait, did I not click on your original question? It's not highlighted in here. No! All right, give me 1 second. I can't find it. What was the original question? Oh, no. You're saying that you wanted to get the A770 and you're on integrated graphics. Okay. Well, if you can't get the limited edition one, let me see what the used market is looking like. Arc A770 limited edition. People are selling these used. Dude, this actually isn't bad. Oh god, so this one's kind of bad. This one, not so bad, because that's about the price of a typical new one, except it's new, but it's not limited edition, so you're gonna be paying the same price for a used version, but you can get the sleek looks that you wanted for. But yeah, if you're on integrated graphics, I mean, any dedicated graphics card is gonna be a huge uplift in performance. Though, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if these are gonna go up in value over time, because they are. It was like a big thing for Intel, right? Like, they had like performance that kind of surprised everybody. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe over time this will be super valuable, so you could invest in it now, use it, and then keep it in a box and sell it when it's worth more. Once Intel's next generations come out and, you know, they are competitive and become a force to be reckoned with. I don't know. So I can't answer these questions just because I don't know all the prices off the top of my head. But like, if you're going from a 2060 to 3060 12 gigabyte, I usually don't recommend that because it's a gen to gen like upgrade. Like, it's only, you're getting the same tier of card of the next generation. I usually recommend, if you're getting the same tier, wait 2 generations, or if you're getting next generation, jump 2 tiers. So that would be going up to like a 3070 Ti or a 3080 or something like that. But that's just me. Oh wait, no, you have a 2060, so that would be going up to a 3070. But then you're probably thinking, oh my god, is the VRAM gonna be an issue? If that's the problem, get a 6700 XT, which those are cheap, both in the new and used market. Do you need NVIDIA that badly? Going from a 2060 to a 6700 XT would be like a good upgrade. You know what? I need to go back and play with the 1070. Is a GTX 1070 worth upgrading? I'm gonna say, if you're trying to play recent titles, yes. If you're just playing stuff like Valorant and League of Legends, or CS2, then still kind of yes, just because you could benefit from a newer graphics card. But a 1070 is still, okay, I think I'm gonna try to work a 1070 into an upcoming budget build, just because I haven't played with it for so long. I wanna play with the 1070 and see how it does in games like, you know, Power World and Hogwarts Legacy and stuff like that. I'm sure you could go watch benchmarks on YouTube, but I like testing games on older hardware myself, so I'll make it a point to do that. So we're doing a 1070, huh? So the goal is to play, but is the 1070 worth the upgrade? Worth upgrading? How much money do you have to spend? That's the biggest question. If you come at me with like $150, then I'm gonna say the only thing you can buy is like a 5700 XT, and that's like not a huge upgrade. Yes, this is a good point. 1070 is a great card for a casual gamer or esports gamer. If you're trying to play freaking, what's the newest games? Starfield? I don't think many people are trying to play Starfield. That's a bad example. If you're trying to play Hogwarts Legacy, are people still trying to play that? If you're trying to play, I'm trying to think of what is the recent AAA GPU killer that people actually want to play that doesn't have controversy. I'm not gonna say Power World because Power World might just be temporary hype. No, I didn't want to say Cyberpunk because If you think about it, Cyberpunk, the core game, came out in what, 2020? It's almost 4 years old now. There's more games recent than it. Baldur's Gate, I guess. I don't know how difficult Baldur's Gate is to run, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of my own benchmarking suite. I bought the new Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, which I hate. It's like bundled in the same game still. It doesn't even feel like its own game. It feels like an expansion of anything. Because if you play Modern Warfare 2 and 1, it launches from the same, like, you know, menu screen. It's weird. You got a 4060 Ti 16GB overclock for $250? Brand new on OfferUp? Dude, why is someone selling it for so cheap? That card is still relatively new. But nice find. You upgraded, you did a 1 generational incremental upgrade, but I mean, you paid $250 for the 4060 Ti, is how I'm reading it. So that's, in that case, it's, if you can find a good enough deal, then you can justify any minor upgrade or any like small upgrade. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3, after I bought it, I was like, I can't believe I just spent $70 for DLC. It feels like DLC. Okay, let me check real quick. Okay, nothing in the streamer submissions. We're just chilling out right now. Let's see. Let me actually see if I can do this live. Is this gonna work? Can I play with the white balance here? Oh, I can't play with it. Oh, okay, this is gonna be hard to do. No, I'm just gonna keep it on auto for now. Oh no! Okay, we should be back now. I wonder if this light affects the white balance. It actually neutralizes it. Interesting. The problem with these budget 16GB VRAM cards is the small bit bus. It limits the ability of hardware to use it. It's nice on paper, but doesn't equate to better performance. Even if the bus width was increased though, I think it's still a problem because they don't have enough like cores and clocks to support it. Like, a 3060 with 12 gigabytes, it's just not that powerful of a card. In most scenarios, I would say almost in all scenarios, once the developers of games optimize, an 8 gigabyte 3070 is gonna beat a 12 gigabyte 3060, like by a long shot. It was just like on launch day Last of Us and like Hogwarts Legacy that this 3070 had a lot of issue being 8 gigabytes, but yeah, it's, I don't know. The thing about the whole VRAM like argument for me is, even years down the line, when games come out that could utilize more VRAMs because of like more intense textures or something like that, I think it goes hand in hand with the overall like performance that there requires. Like, yeah, sure, textures and particle effects and all of that, like they can hit the VRAM hard, but the rest of the graphics in the game will also render a card like a 12 gigabyte 3060 not useless, but like it would render it kind of powerless because the 3060 at its core is not a super strong card. it's not only more useful, but it is more useful the higher resolutions you play. But your in-game settings can also affect it too. It's just with 1080p, you know, it's really hard to come across cards nowadays, or last gen even, that have less than 8 gigabytes, and that covered it for the most part. But I don't think many people are aspiring to build like new PCs at like, let's say $1,000 mark or whatever. That's a pretty nice round budget number for a new build. Are aspiring to keep playing at 1080p for years to come. So people are starting to look into 1440p resolution, and at that point they have to kind of worry a little bit about more. But I don't know. I still think it's a little bit overblown or blown out of proportion. A 3060 Ti, $300 for a new one last year. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Last year, what was the pricing of like 6700s and 6700 XTs? Because that's going to be my reference point. Were those hitting 300? Actually, we could look at, because we had the deals channel, which I've been very bad about posting to. Kevin has been posting more. Thanks, Kevin, by the way. I do appreciate it. So if we look at last year, I know we had 6700 XT deals. So we're going to look at what the pricing was. Exactly 1 year ago, what kind of graphics card deals brand new were we looking at? $350 for a 6700 XT. Come on. I know there was more 6700 XTs. January. $255 for a 6650 XT. See, something like this. Where's the 6700 at? 580. 260 for 6650 XTs. Where's all the 6700 XT deals at? 6750 XT for 409. What the heck? Did Kevin change? Oh, Cerebro. Is this Chris Coonan? Must be. I'm trying to look for all them graphics card deals. I mean, hard to say. I don't keep a price history of every card in my head. But it's looking like around a year ago, we were looking at 6650s in that range, and then the first 6700 XT-ish I could find was, I thought it was lower, like maybe 330, but 370, yeah, that seems like a decent price. I don't think it was like a particularly amazing deal, but definitely like the average going price if I had to guess. Mr. Guillotine saying, are you going to offer warrant? Oh, wait. Bagel. What's Bagel saying? Is there any profit in gaming PCs? In selling gaming PCs? If you're buying and selling? Honestly, to me, it sounds like more of a headache. I know, like, the Toasty Bros are doing it, Zach's doing it, Scattervolt is now doing it. I'm curious to see how long well, Toasty Bros are super in it, right? Like, Toasty Builds, or PC Bros rather, they have like a whole dedicated space and warehouse rented out, like a storefront. So they're like in it for the long run. I think Zach still builds out of his rented workspace. I don't know what Mark's doing, if he's building at home or if he has a workspace, but unless you get like a team of people you trust, just building and selling PCs in your local area anyways seems like kind of like a pain. The thing about being a YouTuber is you have such a big following that a lot of your viewers are probably willing to buy online, and you could just shipped to them and stuff. But if you're straight up talking about selling locally through like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, in terms of the profits, I know a lot of people do it, but I think a lot of people talk about the glory of it, of like, oh yes, I made money on this and this and this. But they don't talk, the one person I know who talks about it being kind of crappy is actually Mod Jason Whitmer, because when customers have something that go wrong in their PCs and it's their fault, they're still gonna blame you. Like if they mess up the computer by like trying to replace components or like fix it themselves and they end up ruining it, they're gonna blame you and say that you sold them a lemon of a computer. So that's just stuff that you have to keep in mind. Like, and then you have to constantly be deal hunting and potentially have to pay taxes if you're making enough money, depending on how you handle payment. Yeah. Yeah, see, Jason says, it's fun, but good luck making it a living unless you are a warehouse level of sales. Or unless you live in your parents' house's basement, not paying any rent, then yeah, the money you make could probably last you for a bit. But if you are a full-grown adult with like actual responsibilities and bills to pay, trying to full-time sell PCs is not going to cut it for most people. Yeah, that's how most people start with buying and selling PCs locally. They start doing it as a hobby. Then as the demand picks up, during the pandemic, there was a huge demand because of all the scalping going on. But then afterwards, there was a huge lull. And a lot of people who did sell a lot of computers during the pandemic, they talked about it. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, do it as a hobby and see if it works out. Like, if you're able to build the types of systems and find good enough deals to turn around and make a profit, give it a try. But, you know, it's just a headache that I personally would not want to deal with. So that's why I never got into it, aside from doing it for content. PC repair definitely could make more money if you could build a clientele and word of mouth like bases, because you don't have to hold inventory. The thing about buying good deals and stuff is, if for whatever reason, let's say you bought a bunch of graphics card ahead of time and you mistimed the market, and then all of a sudden the 4080 Super comes out at $1,000 and you're sitting on $1,100 4080s that you bought, it's gonna be hard to move those and it's gonna be cutting into your profits, things like that. So yeah, if you do PC repair, you're just buying as you need to replace parts. You're troubleshooting, diagnosing software-related issues, which don't take any, like, you know, physical space aside from what you're working on, things like that. So, would selling a 4070 be worth the headache for a 4080 Super? You're going from essentially a, now it's like a $500 card to a $1,000 card. So yeah, you're going, I mean, the jump in performance is going to be big. Is it worth it? Only you can answer that question, because is your 4070 letting you down right now? Like, do you just have $500 to throw around to like throw into your system for, I guess what, slightly or more FPS for sure, slightly better graphic settings? Like, I don't know. What if you just saved that, used it for something else, or waited until a bigger generation, like next gen, or I don't know. It's really different when giving advice when someone already has a system up and running and working versus someone who's trying to build a new system or don't have a graphics card. But 4070 to 4080, personally, I wouldn't go through the hassle of it, because it's not like it's a free upgrade. You're also paying more money for it. So you have to answer, is a 4070 not powerful enough for you? And for me, a 4070 would be plenty powerful, because I'm on an Arc A770 and I'm sitting with it just fine. Yeah, if you are doing like Optiplex, Lenovo flips and stuff like that, but that's the thing, the more of those you get out into the wild, the more customers are potentially gonna hit you back up when they eventually die, because they're like, I mean, people are still selling friggin' Haswell based like pre-built systems. Though the motherboards on those have like a definite end of life. You're gonna hit that at some point. So I don't know, it's kind of like a ticking time bomb. If you use all this super old hardware, you sell it for pretty cheap to people who know nothing about computers, and then if it dies within, you know, a year or even 2, they're left with a non-functioning computer, which is, that's the game, right? When you're spending little money on something like a computer, you have to be ready for it to not last as long or become obsolete quicker. That's just it, so. Repairing and selling broken GPUs? I think if you're asking that question, you're already not prepared to do something like that. If you have to ask the question, you should definitely not get into it. 1 second. Repairing a GPU? What are you even gonna do to repair it? You're talking about board level repair or simple repasting, and that's not even repairing though. How would you repair a graphics card? How would the typical, even the PC enthusiast, wouldn't have the knowledge or the tools to repair any computer component for the most part? No. Yes, it is way too risky. I'm gonna say it now. And it's even more risky because you're asking the question, in my opinion. Unless you go and, you know, go to the proper trade school and stuff like that, for maybe if you like go work under Louis Rossmann or something. I'm actually curious, how do you get into like, you know, board level repair stuff? Like if I wanted to do that right now, what is the path? Is there an equivalent trade school for it? I personally don't know anybody who does that, so I don't know if it's something that is as easily accessible to other trade skills, like mechanic, plumber, carpenter, stuff like that, right? I don't know if board level repair for electronics is easy to get into, yeah. Is this the Lumbian? Hello, Mr. Budget. I bought Dollar Store earbuds and they sound bad. Will buying a 4080 Supra fix it? Thank you. Yeah, it actually will. You should definitely buy a 4080 Supra. It'll make your sound, if it was on a scale of 1 to 10, it'll improve it to like from a 1 out of 10 to probably a 2 out of 10. That's my assessment of it. Is anyone on the world right now? Are all of our pals starving to death? Yeah, I was wondering how GPUs get refurbished. They get refurbished usually in-house by like, you know, the companies that manufacture them, because they have all the tools and knowledge on how to repair them. Honestly, if you tried, here's the thing, I've tried to do this before too. Like I had a laptop with motherboard issues that required like board level repairs. I called every local PC repair shop in my area, none of them can do it. When they repair PCs, they're just replacing parts. If you want like actual repairs on the circuit boards and stuff like that, you're sending that in to like the manufacturer. You're not getting a local mom and pop shop to do it unless it's Rossmann Repair Group or something of the like, because yeah, nobody actually does it. Oh my god, am I being rated by Drebler Land Crew? The DreblerCon landing experience, is that coming here to the stream? What's up, Drew? Thank you for the membership renewals, by the way. I appreciate that a lot. Oh yeah, Northridge Fix. Also another they have a channel too, don't they? Isn't their channel they repair stuff that viewers send in sometimes too? I haven't watched a lot of Northridge Fix, but I'm very well aware of the name. I prefer a Toyota Supra myself. I prefer the Celica. Northwest Repair is the best GPU repair YouTuber hands down. What's this? I've not even seen this channel. Let's take a look. Northwest Repair. The thing is, it's really hard, I would think, to replicate what they're doing just because of how like technical it is. But Northwest Repair. I prefer, so JC9 prefers Northwest Repair to Northwest, or to Northridge Fix. Inside the crack, okay, let's see. Let's click on a random video. Premium graphics cards are nothing, 2080 Ti, okay. Incredible Lucky Fix. Okay, Lucky Fix, fixed with no parts. I'm trying to see that's a general HDMI port replacement. Crack PCB repair. Actually, this one sounds interesting. Like, these channels are really cool to watch and learn from, but to try to replicate this at home, for the majority of people, it's not happening. Yeah, this looks crazy. I wonder untime-lapsed how long this took. This is just something you don't do. I mean, I guess once you're good enough, you can make a ton of money doing this. But for the people who don't have the knowledge or know how to do it, this is a long road of either doing it as a hobby to try to learn it, to like try to get to the point where you can make money doing it. A lot of it, here's the thing about the repairs too. I've seen how much some people have been quoted to get repairs like this done. It is a significant chunk of what the graphics card itself already costs. Obviously because of the man hours that goes into repairing it. But you're not going to be sending in like a $300 graphics card to do this type of level of repair when the repair is going to cost in the hundreds of dollars already. And you can just get a new card. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. So maybe for like a $2,000 scalped 4090, it might be more worth it because the repair will be $400 or $500. But for a lot of people, it's just not worth it. You know, if you have a graphics card $500 or less, or whatever the average repair cost of this would be. So yeah, very cool stuff. I would do it. That seems like something that would be super fun to do as a full-time job, but I have no idea what the road it even takes to get there is. No big deal, just learn to micro solder, exactly. Yeah, it's the equipment too. Wait, why did Unknown say Whistling Diesel? I'm aware of the Whistling Diesel channel. I've watched a number of their videos. It's kind of entertaining. Like when they set the field on fire. Was that, what car is that? Was that a Ferrari? Not on purpose, but they're just doing something stupid and the field caught fire and the car burned. But yeah, I've seen a lot of their stuff. It's entertaining stuff. Man, how has it been 2 hours of stream already? Tonight has actually been super popping off. Very good viewership throughout the whole thing. Chat's been going wild. We got 70 membership donos from Mike1 across Mike 1360 and Gnomed, whose message is still there. That he donated so much it lasted till the end of stream. So I'm gonna spend the next 10 or 15 minutes just chilling with chat. Not looking at browser as much. And yeah, we're just gonna hang out. The next video I'm doing is gonna be a budget build. I'm thinking I might try to, I had a different graphics card in mind for it. It was gonna be the RX 580 because I got one for so cheap. I might try to swap it out for a 1070 just because we talked about the 1070 earlier and I mentioned that I want to test it against modern games. So we'll see. But it's gonna be a more budget-oriented build, cheaper, under 400 bucks. So yeah, that's in terms of next content coming out. LAN party is happening next month. I'm trying to think of what else is happening. Oh, anyone go to PDX LAN by chance? So PDX LAN is the, I think one of the bigger LANs, if not the biggest one that happened in the Northwest. The next one is happening in spring 2024 in April. So I'm thinking of going as a guest, like visitor, not a guest. They're not like inviting me. I'm gonna pay to go to this, but I think I'm gonna go and not bring a rig, but instead just go there, make some you know, fun YouTube Shorts content, and just, you know, hang out at the LAN. Because they let spectators come as well as people who are attending the LAN with computers. But does anyone else go to PDX LAN in the chat? But this isn't for a couple of months. Let me see if I can I register? Oh, spring 2024 registration. Yeah, so it's happening the weekend of April 4th. It's a pretty big, how many seats is this? So they have 900 seats total, and they only have 113 left of the 900. So, yeah. So, staff seat, standard seat, where's the... They also charge for people to come who are not landing. It's not on this page. I think it's like 30 bucks or something for a day pass. So I think I'll be going to that. Baby Guns says 1070 is so bad now. I had one. Games need more than 60 FPS. On Rust, it did 40 FPS on low settings. On Valorant, it did around 70. Whoa, really? Valorant on lowest settings? Only 70 FPS is surprising to me. Even on something as old as the 1070. But it's been a while since I've tested Valorant on like a... Oh, actually, let me see. Nope, I'm done with the browser. We'll have to just see once I do it. Valorant on a 1070, I don't know, that just 70 FPS at the lowest settings. What are you playing at, like 4K? Valorant can run hundreds of FPS on old hardware, from what I remember. Talon's Tech says, sounds like reviewers are out of touch with reality. The hip thing to get views is to crap on hardware. That's very true. Like, this has been a trend for the last generation or two of hardware. Unfortunately, when you're negative, and I've seen it too, like on videos where I made the thumbnail and title negative, it got way more views than when I'm more neutral about it. Yeah, I know, right? I was supposed to be done with the browser. No more going back to the browser. And I went back for PDX. About a year ago, Jason and I used a 1060... There was no 1060 Ti, right? Would that be the 1660 Ti? 1650? No. Yeah, there's a 1660 Ti. But either way, yeah, okay. Which is pretty... it's a little bit more powerful than a 1070, but you were getting 90 to 100 FPS in Overwatch. Yeah, and Valorant is even easier to run. So, I don't know. We'll see. 1070 Valorant performance. Really? 70 FPS at low? I'm guessing 1080p here. We'll see. Yeah. That's very interesting. So that's from Baby Guns. Marry me, says Edward. No, I can't. I'm already married. Do I like fluid motion frames? I haven't played around with it enough to form a full opinion on it, but overall, the idea of it being, first of all, not just their latest gen, but them having available on the last gen, and it being software level and not hardware level, I think that's really cool. But I feel like all the die-hard people who, you know, are chasing the frame rates that you would usually enable fluid motion frames on, like in the hundreds of FPS, they're not gonna like, you know, how it's not true frames. But yeah, I haven't done the pixel peeping and it's really hard to do it with the hardware I have on hand now because I can't capture more than 60 FPS with my capture cards. So to be able to capture it and review it side by side, slowing it down to like 25% or even more to see like, to show a visual difference, it's really hard. So yeah. Your 1070 has been consistently used for years. Maybe it's slower now. Like straight up performance degradation. I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen that really being a thing. Like if it's working with no issues, then it should perform pretty similarly to when it was newer. Are Intel GPUs any good now? They're good enough, but it's still hard for them to compete with AMD and NVIDIA. Like, they just aren't cheap enough to compete for the performance they give. They're performing on similar levels, but if you're only performing on similar levels, people are gonna go with what they're comfortable with. But yeah. I'm gonna get my PAL world loaded up just to make sure our PALs aren't dying. Because when nobody's at the base for a long time, they become very stupid and don't do anything. But otherwise, just gonna chill. I'm pretty sure people are... No, but they need to also be... Like, someone needs to be near the base that owns the base, I think. That is what I think. But we'll see. Drew, don't tell me to chill, man. I don't want my pals to die, okay? What does Neuron budget play for games? Right now, Power World. Actually, can I show the window capture? Can I show the game capture of Power World right now without it breaking? Oh! Wait, no. Alright. Let me go away so that I don't put in the... Yeah, I do have a custom keyboard. I think it's down in the description. I think it should be there. All right, we're playing some Power World right now. Look at this! Look at the top right. Starving, depressed, starving, minor injuries. They're all starving weekend. Oh, this game is so buggy. Oh man. Now, all these pals they're starving or they have stuff that needs medicine. Oh, why? No, I'm not blaming you or anything, Drew. But it's obviously because it's a early access game. Let me make this full right here. Because it's an early access game, there's issues with it in terms of the AI and stuff like that. But I just breeded a Jormuntide, if anyone knows what that is. Where is it at? Come on. It's basically the Gyarados of this game. Here we go. Look at this. Look at my flawless creation. Oh yeah, let's go. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Power World. I'm still playing hardcore WoW right now. I jump into Halo Infinite every once in a while. Yeah, in terms of I'm very curious to see how the 1070 performs on Power World, just because I feel like this is such a played game right now. There might be a lot of people who are trying to build systems specifically to play it. So I'm very curious. I don't even know what my frame rate is right now. If I can't turn on the overlay, otherwise it might bug out the thing, but yeah. So now I just gotta sit in base and let my pals eat. That WoW grind on the back burner? No. WoW, I'm raiding right now. So I'm raiding in hardcore WoW. So I'm kind of raid logging so I don't die outside of raid. And I'm also leveling a second hunter that's like level 47 right now. Trying to get to 60, but yeah. I am playing less WoW now because I'm playing Power World more. But I'm sure Power World, once you get to end game and stuff, it'll slow down. Yeah. You got 45 FPS on Power World on an RX 580 2048 SP version, 1080p low. And a 1070 is a decent amount more powerful than the 580. So we might actually be able to hit 60 FPS on low with the 1070. No, I'm not playing Diablo 4 anymore. Diablo 4, it's just, I don't know. It just did not feel as fun as Diablo 3 did, or I didn't play much of Diablo 2, but Diablo 4, like, the player base has dwindled down so much. I'm sure I'll play Diablo 4 in the future. I think it's just going to take a couple of seasons for them to kind of like get it right. The grind just, I don't know. I played Season 2, Season 3 just released, right? I played a little bit of Season 2. It just didn't feel good when I popped in. Like the loot, the leveling and all that stuff, so yeah. Am I gonna play, and yeah, I'm gonna play Season of Discovery Phase 2. I don't know, though. I feel like Seasons of Discovery is very much a cycle of playing it, getting, to the max phase level, getting geared out, and then logging till the next phase. Seasons of Discovery has not held my interest more than Hardcore has. Hardcore, despite being the exact replica of a 20-year-old game, I find more enjoyment playing than Seasons of Discovery. So I'll play Seasons of Discovery for the phase, get the max level, raid a few times, or raid until my primary raid group stops, and then go back to Hardcore. 1070 with what CPU for Power World? You will have to wait and see in the video. It's gonna be an older CPU though. D3 was a blast. The arcade feel felt great. D4 has only been fun for me with friends. Even then, we're not playing much. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. The microtransactions, even though you don't have to buy microtransactions, but maybe it's the battle pass. It's not like any huge major thing about Diablo 4 that makes me like not want to play it. It feels like a culmination of a bunch of little things that when I think about it, it's just like, do I want to play this game versus other ones that I'm having way more fun in? You know how you can tell if someone's on a server in Power World? You try to go to sleep. Oh, Jason, if you're watching, by the way, I made you a handgun, some Ultra Power Spheres, and some ammo. So just pick them up from the bench when you're ready, or when you're in game. So yeah, when you go to sleep, if the world does not transition, it means other people are playing in the world right now. Yeah, so we need to go find some sulfur so we can make some more ammo. But for now, I'm still going to be using my crossbow. I'm just using the handgun to get me out of sticky situations. But yeah, ammo is definitely the most pain in the butt thing to craft in Palworld. Question, why did the 4080 Super sell out so fast? It could be a number of things. I'm curious as the weeks come on though, and I have a feeling some of them might be scalped and sold over to Asia. But I think it's more of, you know, it's really hard to gauge the demand of a product. They've definitely been bitten in the butt before for overproducing something that's not in as high of demand. So now they'd rather be sold out for a couple of days or weeks and then meet the demand rather than having an overstock and then having to like sell them for less than market value. But I don't know. What's my take on Starforge? Starforge pre-built systems, I think for the most part when I've looked at them, they're fine. I think in the stream we've looked at systems multiple times and they don't seem that overpriced. And they seem to take critique well, like when Gamers Nexus and Linus critiqued Starforge pre-built PCs, they took the critiques and fixed what needed to be fixed. So yeah, I think I would recommend them. I haven't looked at them for a few weeks now, but in general, my thoughts on them are pretty good. All right, Bagel asked a question multiple times, even got yelled at by Kevin. Not yelled at, but scolded. I have a 1650 Super and a Ryzen 5 3600, but I mainly play Rust and I can't get over 60 FPS. Any tips on improving FPS? Yeah, buy a new graphics card. Actually, no, Rust is kind of CPU intensive too, though, right? I mean, between the two, anyone play Rust here that could help Bagel out? I don't know if there's any tips you could do to not change hardware and get more FPS. I mean, you're sitting on kind of, it's not super old, but 1650 Super wasn't that powerful of a card ever to begin with. It was just very power efficient and yeah, it made it convenient for weak power supplies. But upgrade your graphics card would be my first bet. Other than that, you would have to look up Rust optimization videos because I don't play Rust, so I couldn't say, yeah. But yeah, it goes to show, don't make it a point to spam chat. Oh my god, all these pals are actually dying. All right, yeah, don't make it a point to spam chat. Usually I will ignore or the messages will get removed, but I make it, sometimes I make an exception. But all right, that's gonna wrap it up for this stream. Thank you for everyone for making it a litty stream, as the kids would probably say it. Yeah, be on the lookout for other content. Next week's stream, I don't know. I feel like we've had a pretty good run of new hardware releases. If next week's stream doesn't have a new hardware release or anything major to talk about in tech, we can get more into like the PC part picker, looking at other like pre-builts and stuff like that. So if you have questions, come with them ready. Come with links to your PC part picker builds. Come with links to pre-builts that you're looking at, maybe trying to buy, and we can, take a look at them on stream and see if they're good value or not. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good rest of your night or day. Have a good rest of your week and weekend coming up. And yeah, I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.